let's see what a call for an uprising has to say. A call for an uprising believes in all sorts of crazy conspiracy stuff.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show, and if there was ever a time to call...
They're a COVID denier, for the record. Colossus TV with 20 bits. I think I got that book at my middle school book fair.
For one, I think it would be now, but I know many people get offended by that. They'd rather just continue to allow these satanic bullies to bully us around and make us follow their rules and their new laws and their regulations. I deal with that all the time.
All these Satanists telling us to not go get our family members killed by going to large family Thanksgiving gatherings. Fine, go. You know what? Go. Go. Go see your family. Kiss them on the lips. I hope it goes well for all of you.
I'm from Christians who say, you can't be going for an uprising. Well, if there was ever time for one, it would be now. But first I want to say, before I show you any of these clips, that I am not questioning the WHO. I am not questioning any of these so-called scientists with this specific video. I'm showing you clips for the sake of showing you repetition and showing you clips and how all of the media is saying the same thing, and this is how they reach everyone. I know how offended they get by stuff like this because it makes people unlock parts of their brain where they suddenly say, yeah, why are they all saying the same narrative?
No, people get mad at you because you're spreading misinformation that's causing a global pandemic to be much worse than it need be by politicizing the use of PPE and distancing from other people, which are key in helping slow or stop the spread of a virus. Please stop. For the love of God, you idiots have killed so many people unnecessarily, and you're going to continue to do so. Me saying this isn't going to convince anyone, but I just want y'all to know everyone's going to remember what the fuck you did. You all are going to go down as some of the dumbest motherfuckers in history. Can you imagine 100 years from now if human beings fucking survive the next 100 years reading in a book like there was a global pandemic and then a bunch of dumb shits on the internet decided to politicize a fucking virus and decided not to wear masks and wanted to tongue kiss each other because they wanted to own the libs. And they killed, I don't know, we're at 250,000 people so far. This'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be to 500,000 by the time we get this thing under control with the vaccine. But, you know, do you? Tucker White 94 20 bits. He listens to the Who? Well, that's quite a substitute. Send comment. Walter Kovacs, the cognitive dissonance required to believe in flat earth, space not real, and any other conservative conspiracy theory is concerning. It is. And Harry K5 with 20 bits. Bold claim, but I stand by it. Texas and the Southeast, and the Southeast will be the next swing states. Screw Ohio, it's leaning R slowly anyway. R's can screw with voter registration, but they can't fight demographics. People are moving to the Southeast from California. And the Midwest for cheaper living standards, and that is making the Southeast more purple. We'll see what happens.
But what we're suddenly hearing is something that we heard very eerily, and I reported on this channel before the videos were taken down, on Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Labor Day, and now we have Thanksgiving coming.
Yeah, as it turns out, none of you have listened to any of the guidelines, so they keep having to have restrictions. If in the first month of this shit, you assholes had actually stayed home and actually worn masks and actually shut the fuck up, we probably could have helped curb this thing. But we didn't. And as it turns out, with something that has exponential growth, if you fail to curb it immediately, it very quickly runs out of control. So, here we are. And because of you idiots, no Thanksgiving, no Christmas. You idiots are still gonna go do it, but the reasonable people among us aren't going to. And that's your choice, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but guess what? Your family members are going to be dead. I hope you love living with that for the rest of your godforsaken lives. 74 Quinn 74 with 20 bits. I work at a PPE warehouse for Wisconsin and Illinois, so I have my finger on the pulse of how bad things are here. It's been interesting, I bet. Tucker White 94 says, I hope so, because I hate living in a conservative hellhole like Tennessee. And then Comrade Devin with 20 bits, check out this silly shit that went down in New Orleans the other weekend. We're all going to die. I assume it's a bunch of people at a party or a bar or something, because there have been a lot of that. Naughty Nolans moves to November 11th through 15th. Oh god, was this a party? Jesus Christ. Asinine.
Coming up, and it feels almost like they've canceled Thanksgiving. Not that I care, not that I celebrate it. I couldn't care less. At this point, I'm ready to go, just like everybody else. But as soon as Halloween, their favorite holiday, of course, Samhain, their satanic, worship day ended.
Halloween is not about satanic worship. It's a fun holiday about being spoopy and getting candy if you're a kid. That's the extent of Halloween. LARPers who pretend to use it to do occult rituals are weirdos, but it's fine. You know why? Because again, magic isn't real. This is the second adult man today I've had to say magic isn't real to. Stop it. Stop it. What is wrong with these people? The rest of us all had to grow up, right? The rest of us all had to realize, okay, we live on a planet with other people and we need to be reasonable and believe in things that are real, and we need to work with other people to make life better for all of us. And these idiots never matured beyond like 8 years old. They can't play with others. They can't work in groups. They can't recognize shit like magic and Satanism are not threats to them because magic isn't real. And people who are Satanists, they're not Satanists in the spooky 1980s way that these people think they are. They're like people who just use Satanism as a way to talk about like separation of church and state issues, or they're genuine wackadoos who really believe Satan is real. But here's a fun fact, Satan's also fake, so that's not a threat to you either. Stop it. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. You're hurting everyone else by behaving in this immature, childish fantasy world. Lily loves stuff with 30 bits. I work at a company where we tend to get really busy when people start to go out of town. We're very busy. We're extremely busy the past 2 days or so. My guess is a lot of the people not staying their asses home, so I'm expecting cases to spike like crazy in the next 2 weeks. They are. It's gonna be a nightmare. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Dumb redneck guy. Shut up, Hannah, you stupid commie atheist. Yep, that'll do it. Harry K5 with 20 bits. Halloween is the one day a year where you can cosplay and not be called a nerd. True.
Instead of talking about getting to Thanksgiving, all we've heard is a lot of stuff about their favorite holiday, Nimrod's holiday, Christmas. And obviously, there's a lot of you who are aware, and then there's new people.
Everything's satanic. Christmas is satanic. Halloween's satanic. The 4th of July is satanic. Your left sock is satanic. Your right sock? The jury's still out. If you're just pointing at everything and saying it's satanic, are you really surprised when people laugh at you?
Who come to the channel who aren't aware of what Christmas is really about. And again, you could look that up yourself. Maybe I'll cover it again for people who are new to the channel because it's important for people to know. But for the most part, you don't even hear people talking about Thanksgiving. And that's because this is another one of these things they want canceled because they don't want people getting together.
Because of the virus. Because there's a virus. Because there's a virus that kills people. And even if it doesn't kill them, it causes permanent damage to their lungs and other issues. What don't you understand about this? Jake was talking the other day about how there were cases of people whose teeth were falling out because of nerve damage they received because they weren't getting enough oxygen during COVID.
There's nothing funny about the tools.
It killed nerve endings and their teeth fucking fell out. What the shit? Tucker White 94. Christmas is satanic is a flex I didn't expect from a religious nut. I mean, Christmas was initially not okay by Christians. They thought it was pagan at first because, you know, a lot of stuff from Christmas is related to paganism. Walter Kovacs with 100 bits. These fuckers could be on their deathbeds choking on COVID and their last words would be bitching about Dems and leftists stealing the election from Trump. LOL, fuck 'em. I literally saw a Twitter post the other day that was someone who was, shit-talking COVID and saying it's not a big deal, and then it was the progression of their posts, and they caught COVID, and their final post was talking about them dying in the hospital of COVID, and at no point did they say, like, oh, I fucked up, it's serious. They still were like, yay, Trump. Absolutely ridiculous. It's a fucking death cult, is what it is.
States are now regulating how many people can be together on the holiday. Some states are at 6, some at 8, some at 10. And it's almost like Songbird, right? You can expect somebody to pound on your door. And somebody would say, well, how would they know how many people would be at my house on Thanksgiving if I'm celebrating it? Well, they wouldn't technically know.
Probably by the number of cars outside your house. And here's the thing. I don't think most places are going to actually be enforcing this shit. I just don't think they will. Police departments haven't been enforcing it anyway, because they're, big sacks of shit that shoot people when they don't deserve it and won't enforce laws when it actually promotes public safety. So, of course, the police are going to be useless here. As usual. Thanks, police. It's going to be honor system based. People who are big jackasses are going to go and they're going to celebrate. And it's going to hurt a lot of people, both in their immediate family and other people who are going to have to deal with the fallout of the huge spike in cases. And they won't give a shit. They won't give a shit. At this point, I'm resigned to just pointing out these people every single time I can and blaming them, as is rightfully so, for the deaths of tens of thousands of people. These people are scum. These people are the worst, most selfish reflections of society. And they should be shunned. It's honestly disgusting how little these people care about the others around them. It's fucked up. Tucker White 94, 20 bits. FYI, the state already regulates how many people can be in a building at once. You ever heard of a fire marshal? And then Lily Love stuff with 20 bits. Does anyone know what kind of Christian that a call for an uprising is? His all holidays are Satan's is giving me a Seventh-day Adventist vibes. I would say Jehovah's Witnesses are First Philadelphia Church of God, but both of those aren't allowed to do politics. I'm actually not sure. No idea.
Well, they would technically know, excuse me. They wouldn't be able to prove anything because then it would prove that they're spying on you via your television.
Or, how about this? There are 8 cars parked outside your house on Thanksgiving. Boy, I wish I had a detective like Sherlock Holmes to come and figure out where all these cars are coming from. Idiot.
Your Echo and all the other things that they have already that we've willingly put in our home. But so many people will be posting pictures on social media of themselves on Thanksgiving and their family, and things like that will lead to a knock on the door, right? And Big Brother being there in a police uniform, our Masonic brothers, right? Not our Masonic brothers, because there's nothing funny about the well, I despise Satanists just as much, but it's the same difference, right?
Tucker White 94, 20 bits. FYI, they already are. Those smart TVs spy on you. I'm sure they do. I'm sure everything's guys. There's literally this is a fucking this has microphones and cameras. This is a camera. This is a literal microphone. My TV doesn't have a microphone on it, nor does it have a camera, but I'm sure I have a Google Home. I'm sure they're listening to the shit I say. I don't give a shit because what am I going to do about it? Literally, I have no power to do anything about it. I don't care. And I'm not saying anything out loud that I think, would be sus anyway, so who cares? I agree that tech companies shouldn't be allowed to collect data on people and shouldn't be allowed to record stuff, but they almost certainly are. But what am I going to do about it,
The Masonic brothers at the door, because that's what the entire police force is. And maybe in some cases, in some countries, if they actually partake in it, you'll get the military at the door. But it's kind of funny, right? Because we're going to hear this with Christmas as well, and everyone is talking about if you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're being selfish.
You are. You are.
And if you don't, you're being a good person. And again, this goes to your social score, your social credit score, which will be here soon, where they'll look.
I don't think we're going to get social credit scores here in the United States, but what people like this fail to recognize is there's already social currency. It's not a literal thing that you can hold in your hand or a score that you can literally quantify, But yeah, in society, if you behave in antisocial ways, including and up to spreading a disease to other people because you're selfish, yeah, people are going to think less of you. I'm sorry you don't like that there are consequences for your actions. This again plays into the fact that they're all a bunch of children walking around in adult bodies, acting like, why is everyone so mean to me? All I want to do is literally everything I want to do, even if it hurts other people, and I don't want anyone to think less of me because of it. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Look at everybody and they'll say, oh, you're following what we're saying. You deserve a better score and a pat on the back. Anyone who's doing this is being selfish. This keeps people in conflict with each other. This gives Big Brother more of a right to take our rights away. And well, you can take a look at the video clips, plural, yourself, and see how many major media outlets and small media outlets are saying the same thing about, please, please, don't you go over and have turkey with somebody because you're going to make them sick, or you can spread it. Let's all just continue to lock ourselves in.
Do you know why they're saying that? Because it's true. Because it's true. Because it's true. I can't stop idiots like A Call for an Uprising going and licking his grandma on the mouth during Thanksgiving and getting her sick and killing her. I can't. What would be the point of even, like, screaming about it? I'm mad, but at the end of the day, he's going to do what he's going to do. All I can do is point this out, say, fuck these guys, and once this is all said and done, we're looking at the final death total, over 500,000 people probably, if not more. People like this, it will be their fault. And I don't want them to go a single day for the rest of their lives without being reminded how many people they fucking killed. Fuck these guys. Alabalesol with 200 bits. Just got off a stressful day of work. Super happy to watch your streams. Thank you.
Confinement going on almost a year here in America.
This morning, Chicago is in crisis. The city reporting more than 15,000 new cases this week. That's more than Arizona, Massachusetts, Georgia, or Virginia. Now, Chicago's mayor is taking dramatic action, issuing a 30-day...
Chesabel, thank you for the 20 bits. He's saying Big Brother a lot. I think he's actually read 1984. No.
Stay-at-home advisory starting this Monday. Lori Lightfoot is pleading with residents to remain at home except for essential activities and urging people not to host any gatherings at all, including over Thanksgiving.
And while this is tough, and of course this whole year has been tough, we must tell you, you must cancel the normal Thanksgiving plans. We could see 1,000 more Chicagoans die from this virus by the end of the year.
Across the Midwest, infections and hospitalizations are breaking records. Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana are now reporting a new case every 4 seconds on average. A growing number of conservative governors from Utah to Iowa are issuing mask mandates for the first time.
The virus is present in all of our communities.
Tucker White 94 with 300 bits. May I have your attention, please? As of this moment, I'm now the bits leader. You may now return to your regularly scheduled bullshit. And then Harry K5 with 20 bits. This happened to Parlor today. I'll get my popcorn ready for the fireworks. I assume it's the hack. And then EON80 with 20 bits. How dare the government take away my rights, but also LGBT people shouldn't be allowed to be themselves in their own homes. I'm actually not sure what A Call for an Uprising's view on trans individuals is, or gay people for that matter, so I don't know. I've seen what looks like legit proof of 5,000 compromised Parler accounts, including DMs of some well-known figures. Hackers decompiled the app, zero-day exploit, etc. I wish I could unsee what I've seen. Beautiful. It'd be cool if something interesting came out of that.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
And all of us can help stop its
Phosphophyllite with 69 bits. America first in COVID cases.
spread.
This wave of new infections is striking the coast, too.
The roadways here in the Bay have become busier, and tonight there is a concern that family get-togethers will be busier over Thanksgiving and Christmas.
We are seeing this increased spikes of cases.
Dr. Curtis Chan is San Mateo County's deputy health officer and along with hundreds of other doctors, is recommending that events last no more than 2 hours with a maximum of 3 households.
Just gonna keep it small.
Of course, the safest thing to do is to confine your celebration to those who you already live with. If you are to gather with other family members, keep it small. If you are eating together in the same household, I would advise against having a big buffet. You should have one person plate the meals and not have multiple people coming up and all helping themselves.
Lily loves stuff with 20 bits. My mother had 2 people come in to get tested who were very nearly on death's door, and she had to administer oxygen to them before even swabbing them to get tested. At least she's taking it seriously now. Good. This is what I don't think people on the right and people like A Call for an Uprising get. Guys, them telling you to keep it to a 3-person household, or them telling you, you know, oh, just don't do a buffet, or whatever, you know, keeping it small. This is the compromise. This is the compromise. Rightfully, honestly, let's say we were like totalitarian. The effective way of curbing a disease like this would be telling everyone, like, pretend we're like China, right? And we just say, everyone stay inside for the next 2 weeks. If you don't, you're getting arrested. Period. It would be incredibly effective. It would be totalitarian, and I don't think that's right, but it would be effective. We're already on the compromise, guys. This is the compromise. Telling you, hey, don't have big gatherings of a bunch of people, especially old people, all together for extended periods of time. This is the compromise. You want absolutely no restrictions, okay? Reasonable people want strict restrictions. These lax restrictions are the compromise. And it's already stupid that we're compromising between science and you being a dumb fuck. But here we are. So this is the compromise. You fought for it. People are gonna fucking die for it. But here we are. You made your choice. This is what we're working with. So stop complaining. Walter Kovacs with 100 bits. These smug, condescending, smooth-brained dumbasses bending over and spreading their cheeks to just shard this horse shit is infuriating. I know, it's annoying.
Who could forget? Dr. John, let's start with you. Everybody wants to know, should we even get together for Thanksgiving this year, even if it's just extended family, grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt? Is that okay?
And Savannah, you want to be extra careful this Thanksgiving, and the safest way to celebrate by far is just with members of your own household.
Tucker White, 94 with 20 bits. This would be where a corporate America would be great PR if, say, Disney offered free access to Disney Plus all this week on the condition that you don't leave your house. Yeah.
And then beyond
you can't police that restriction, though. How's Disney Plus gonna know if you left your house, you know?
On that, the next level of safety would be those in your quarantine bubble, those that you've been associated with over the past couple of months and you know they've been staying safe. Anybody beyond that, you want to make sure that they start quarantining right now. These are people outside your quarantine bubble. They start quarantining right now, and then when they come over, they wear masks, they social distance. Now, one area of concern, if you have anybody in the house that's elderly or with medical conditions that put them at an increased risk for complications from COVID, then you really want to double down on those masks and that social distancing, Savannah. It's extremely important.
Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Tens of millions of Americans will drive or fly for the Thanksgiving holiday despite the pandemic, according to AAA. CBS News has learned the TSA expects to screen more than 6 million people in the days ahead. That's leading to concerns about an even bigger surge in the virus nationwide. Chris Van Cleve reports now on how families are responding.
A socially distanced Thanksgiving came early for Laura Douglas's family, celebrating outside.
Tucker White 94 20 bits. The mouse. Ho ho! We have ways to keep you inside. We're always watching. The snipers have you in their sights. Ho ho!
In October.
Now the numbers are really rising very, very sharply. And even just having it this coming weekend, I think we would have felt very threatened about getting together.
There were fewer guests. Visiting family were spaced apart at separate tables, and masks were worn.
Now, a reasonable administration would shut the airports down. I agree. Chesabel with 20 bits. My friend is a nurse in the ER. Her hospital has been full for weeks. They're having to hold people with broken bones in the ER because there are no beds for them. Yeah. Guys, this is going to get exponentially worse as hospitals fill up and people can't get treatment. The death rate's going to get way higher when people can't get oxygen. Dr. White 94, 20 bits. Okay, I've lost the plot of this dude's video.
Now this all sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it? Remember the repetition of this?
Everyone will probably want to get outside, enjoy the holiday. Dr. Anthony Fauci, he has some concerns here. He says he's worried about another potential surge of cases after the long weekend and is calling for everyone to be...
And we've continually seen after holidays and people getting together and traveling and anything, the cases get worse. And they're already at an all-time high before the holiday. The next few months, because of all the idiots going out and traveling across the country and spreading it from state to state to house to house, it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. Try not to get in an accident in the next couple months, guys. The hospital's not going to be able to deal with you.
Be vigilant ahead of flu season.
When you have a holiday like Labor Day, we have seen after the 4th of July, we saw after Memorial Day, a surge in cases. What I would really like to see is kind of a full court press to get us way down as
I'm going to try and get to the part where he's commenting again.
People you surround yourself with.
They can blame you.
Virus is just as dangerous actions like and
each passing
wearing.
Oh yeah, people totally forgot. With each passing holiday, what is the reason for this, you ask? This is so that they can blame us for...
Because it's your fault, dummy. This is your fault. Take responsibility for your own actions.
For it. They can blame you. They can blame me. They can blame every single citizen in this country for not listening and being the cause of the reason it spreads. Then when they step in, they can say, but luckily Big Brother is here. Because there's a 95% success rate that this...
I'm not a totalitarian, quite the opposite. I believe in people's rights. But these people are being so irresponsible and getting so many people killed. If the government came out tomorrow and they're like, anyone who is out of their house for the next 2 weeks, guess what? You're going to jail for a month. I don't even know how mad I would be. I'd be like, that's sus, and that's not good. But I'd also be like, I get it. I get it. Stop it, guys. Stop being assholes.
Thing that you're going to stick in you is going to work. Now, why is it 95%? Because if they told you it was anything less than 75, you know how many people would not be taking it? They tell people that the flu shot is like 60%.
There's nothing funny about the
and so many people were coming forward saying they got sick after it. That, just like I said when this whole thing started, they literally had to come up with something new.
Towing24, subscribing with a 7-month streak, says they should get an attempted murder charge. That's pretty extreme. But I understand the anger. These people are frustrating.
Because nobody was going and willingly taking it. But now that they're saying it's 95% success rate, the other one's 94%. Well, why do you think that is? Because if people hear that it's any less than that, they're not going to go and take it. And the goal is to get everyone to take it and to force everyone. And if you don't believe me, go back to my...
Lily loves stuff with 20 bits. So minorities are supposed to take personal responsibility for their financial situations despite systematic racism. But people aren't supposed to be responsible for themselves when it comes to COVID. It's almost like they have double standards. Isn't that funny?
My videos, which probably will go to my website because it's pretty much all been taken off of here. But I talked about this in...
Baja Blast responds, oh my god, because the flu mutates super quick and there are tons of different strains. Thank you, Baja.
February and March. How they were going to grind people into the ground until they got to a point where they would, maybe 7 months ago, have said, I would never take the shot, to now saying, give me it. I want normalcy. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to live like this. I want to go to the movies. I want to go to the mall. I don't want to social distance. Well, guess what? Things aren't going back to normal, even when the majority of these people end up getting their shot, because the world...
No, it probably will. And you guys will be like, I don't even know what you idiots are going to think at that point. Well, do you think this idiot, a call for an uprising, year and a half, however long it takes to actually, manufacture and distribute enough of the vaccine that enough of the population has it, that things are back to some sort of normalcy? Are idiots like this going to be like, oh, sorry, we were wrong, Of course they're not. They're just going to move on to whatever next thing they see as a perceived threat to their liberty, even though absolutely no liberty has been taken away from them. What these people don't understand in terms of, like, freedom, and it's a good thing. Freedom is a fantastic thing. I'm all for liberty. I'm all for your personal rights. But the thing about rights is they also come with responsibility, right? In America, we don't want a totalitarian government that's going to tell you exactly what to do. But that also comes with the implied responsibility that you have something to give back to society in return for that freedom. So, if collectively the doctors of the world and your country are saying to you, hey, we need to stay inside because of this virus, that's the responsibility you should take on as an adult to make sure that the freedoms that you have can be maintained, right? To have a functional society, you need rights, but you also need responsibilities, and you need to live up to those. And if you don't, then the social contract is broken and anything goes. You can't be a big baby man-child and say, I want all the rights, but when it comes time for me to exercise responsible living by listening to doctors during a public health crisis, why should you be afforded rights if you aren't willing to live up to the responsibilities attached to those rights? It's stupid. And I'm not advocating for anyone's rights being taken away. It's just a moral shortcoming to accept rights without the responsibilities that come with them. They should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. They should look at themselves and be fucking embarrassed, because it's embarrassing how these people are behaving.
The world is just completely changing. The mark is arriving. Babylon has fallen. The falling away is here. And you might as well just, I mean, if your hope isn't in Christ, then your hope is in the wrong place, because there's nothing else to hope and have faith in, except for the trumpet sounding. So
that's right.
This is just me commenting on the fact that this is the narrative, right? I mean, who
Space
couldn't
Camp
see this
Nick,
coming?
thank you
the
for
repetition
following.
of Thanksgiving. You'll see it with Christmas, right? Not that I...
Arakaria with 24, or with 20 bits rather. To my knowledge, COVID-19 is killing minorities at much higher rates than white Americans. As long as it hurts minorities worse, they'll never care, and they'll never regret not caring. If the shoe were on the other foot, they'd have cops out in full force jailing people for not wearing masks and having large gatherings. You're probably right.
I think anyone should be celebrating the holidays. The
Cool hat, is it rated for chemtrails? It is. It keeps me safe from the psycho waves, the reptoid waves, and chemtrails. It's fantastic.
point is, it's a continuation of the same thing. Taking things away that are normal.
And yes, we will see this continue with Christmas. For one thing, because Christmas is like a month away. Literally a month and a day away. And viruses don't go away like that. And secondly, cases will be worse than ever during Christmas because idiots like this guy aren't going to heed any of the doctor's concerns about Thanksgiving, and it's going to spread like crazy. The next, 4 or 5 weeks are going to be nuts in terms of cases. I think, how many cases per day are we averaging now? U.S. COVID. This cases? No, that's deaths. Let me get cases. We're averaging, 100. Oh, Jesus Christ. November 20th, we had almost 200,000 new cases. Then on the 22nd, we had 141,000, and then 179,000 November 23rd. So we're averaging between 150 and 200,000 new cases a day, and this is prior to Thanksgiving. Think how bad this chart is going to be in a few weeks. In 3-4 weeks after people, because I think the virus can, I don't know what the word is. It's like the word gestate, but I don't think it's the word gestate. Basically, it can take 2 weeks for you to get initial transmission of the virus for you to actually start, exhibiting symptoms. It's going to be bad. It's going to make this look like nothing. Deaths. Jesus Christ, how many deaths did we have? 2,000 on the 19th, 843 on the 22nd. We're at 259,000 deaths. 250,000 dead people in the United States. Ridiculous. Honestly, other countries should start, putting sanctions on the United States until we get our shit together. This is good. This affects other people in the world, too. Walter Kovacs with 100 bits. With half of Americans refusing to wear masks, social distance, or even acknowledge its existence, we'll be lucky to not surpass 1 million in COVID deaths. God help us. Yeah. I know. Harry K5 with 20 bits. I mean, wasn't the Chinese holiday season of last year how the initial spread of COVID happened? The local governments in China didn't want to hurt the holiday economy, so let people travel and family dinners. Right. Which is why we should be able to recognize, hey, let's not do the same mistakes. And here we are, making the same mistakes all the time.
Normal to the regular person. This is how they trick and force people into taking this shot. This is how they trick and force people into, taking their own rights away as citizens, to wanting to change the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Because they can say,
hey, I don't know if you know this, the Constitution is meant to be changed. It's why they wrote in the Constitution how to change the Constitution. Weird. And the Bill of Rights, by the way, they're amendments to the Constitution. Do you know why they're called amendments? Because they're amendments. Do you know what words mean?
Well, people like a call are dangerous, and people go, I guess they are. Even though you can't even give an opinion here on YouTube, so I can't, and I'm not even on here questioning. I'm just saying, right? You want to hear me questioning and giving a real viewpoint, you can go, to my website, or I don't know. But the simple fact of the matter is, it's Thanksgiving next week. They are already cracking down, telling people they better not, they better not, they better not. And they're saying, oh, well, they're calling it C-19 fatigue is setting in. Have you ever heard of such nonsense? And they're going, please don't be fatigued by it. Please just continue to do it because we tell you.
Yes. Doctors and scientists who study diseases for a living are telling you you are killing people. Because you are. The arrogance is infuriating. Chesabel with 20 bits, this guy. Look, I have issues with how pharmaceutical companies aren't always ethical when developing and testing new drugs, vaccines, but I'm still going to get it when it comes out. Right. Like, I don't like how pharmaceutical companies work either, but it doesn't mean I don't take aspirin when I have a headache, you know what I mean?
And we're supposed to trust and believe in these people. And everyone out there trusts and believes in Big Brother. They trust and believe
the tools of capitalism.
in all the agencies of the government.
Yo&80 with 20 bits. Here in Ireland, we have had 22 amendments by popular vote since America's last amendment. Jesus Christ. That's depressing.
Right.
Lil Busy Bling, thank you for following.
Right? While we sit here, and what we're supposed to do is what? Sit here, be imprisoned in our homes, and then wait for them to come to the rescue with a shot. And for them to say, if you take it twice every month, you can go back to living a normal life. And these people don't even have a clue about the ramifications of what the long-term effects of this are. And we won't even get into the chip and everything else because the deflection on that is so ridiculous. The fact that they have to bring it up with comedians and in the mainstream media shows you how nervous they are. But that's how Satan works. He's a deceiver and he's a liar, right? I don't want to make this clear to YouTube with striking videos, making it difficult for me to upload things like that. There's nothing on this channel that is pro-Trump, anti-Trump, pro-Biden, anti-Biden. I don't believe in any of it. I believe in Jesus Christ. So you're discriminating against me religiously for my beliefs.
You being a jackass who lies and misunderstands a virus is not shielded by the fact that you also happen to be religious. Most people are religious. It doesn't mean people can't point out when you're talking shit about a virus that you clearly don't understand. And here's the thing. I don't either, because I am not a doctor or a virologist. You know who I listen to, though? Doctors and virologists.
In everything that I talk about.
MMO Addicted with 20 bits. As I always say, there is no ethical consumption if you're a purist. If you even use a lift here, there are good odds that its major components were produced by a company which is only a monolith because it used POW labor back in the day, using things, enjoy things, but say your opinion and speak out as needed. Yeah. There's a reason there's no ethical consumption under capitalism is a thing that's like a phrase. It's because, and the show The Good Place went into this in the later seasons. It's very difficult to analyze choices in our current society, because like any single product had so many ethical considerations or things that should have been ethically considered going into them that it's impossible to basically function like a normal human being without, you know, indulging something unethical, child labor, you know, slave labor, you know, somewhere in the third world. It's just nearly impossible. I'm not saying you shouldn't make attempts, but I am saying it can be very, very exhausting. Empty the Tanks with 20 bits says, missed my bits, but that's alright. I'll say it again because I want you to know it's been an amazing experience watching you become who you want to be and who you've always truly been. You inside me. I assume that last bit was a typo, but it is funny. Towing24 with 20 bits. So is AC a call for an uprising? So is a call for an uprising Hans, but with people and not animals? Oh God. Honestly, this guy's not as out there as Hans. I don't know if it's a fair comparison. This guy's just conspiratorial, but he doesn't not believe in animals. Typo or invitation. I'm really sorry I missed your bits earlier, by the way. It wasn't intentional. I'll go back.
There's nothing funny about
I'll read your thing from 8 minutes ago. It says, I feel your anger, the complain, but it's literally their own fault things are so bad in America. Also, Hannah, I've been watching you and Jake for years, and watching you become the person you want to be is amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Walter Kovacs with 100 bits. These effers don't understand. I don't know why. I said fuck like 50 times in this video, so it's fine. Walter Kovacs says, these fuckers don't understand how anything works. Not governments, not political discourse, not social norms, not even words, apparently. My brain is melting. It's very annoying. I know. The weird amorphous blob, thank you for following. And then Empty the Tanks with 20 bits. LOL inspire. There we go. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Those are kind words.
Out here. And I don't talk about anything of hurting anyone. I don't talk about anyone doing any violence to anyone or anything else like that, because I don't believe that's the answer either. But I want to make people aware because I want them to see the patterns and the repetition. I hope you all can see it. I hope you guys will join the website at callforuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. I hope to see you guys over there. I want to thank the patrons. You guys are the ones that keep this YouTube channel going. And I appreciate the thumbs up and the support, everybody. Doing my
I wish there was like a report function in YouTube option that's like, hey, they're spreading complete misinformation.
My best to get through
but
this.
They don't let you report for that.
Watching the world crumble around you, not the easiest of things to do when you actually care about even the lost. And I do care about people who are lost, even though I sound sometimes like I don't. I do. And those people look at me and they go, don't care about me. You're the idiot. That's what they say back. And I still care because I know 100% in my heart that I'm 100% right about Jesus Christ being the King of Kings, about the things that we're seeing going on. And I'm not saying I'm 100% right about elections and those types of things, but Bible prophecy being filled, I have zero doubt in my heart.
I understand that there's a report function. I'm saying there's nothing that he is doing that is technically TOS breaking for YouTube. Like, I can't just say he's lying about COVID.
About what we're seeing. So, I feel for the lost, and I hope you guys will continue to support the channel and stay strong yourselves. Thank you guys for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.
Frustrating. This idiot, I cannot believe this idiot still has a channel. He really doesn't. He doesn't deserve to be able to spread his message when his message is this harmful. Anyway.